Hey everyone, welcome back to FizzCraft. I know it's been a bit, but honestly I've said that so many times I'm not going to go over the whole spiel again. I really just want to get started and really hit the ground running on all the projects that I've had planned for so long now. It's time to really get things started in here. Before I get into any time lapses or anything, I should really show you what I've done so far. Essentially, this was the idea that I had from episode 1, where I wanted to start on a hill or a mound of some sort and then kind of have it slowly slope outward. Truth be told, I actually did this like a long time ago, even before Fizzmas was planned or even built. But after that, I really didn't do much with it because I wanted to save the actual work for Fizz 4, this video. I think for right now, I want to knock out some of the easier parts of this terraforming project. So now it's time for the time lapse.
Piston skin, cap a red hat, claw for his little pony sense.
You guys like naming your animals in Minecraft? I feel like I always find myself with a lot of pets on any new servers or whatever that I join. So I end up doing a similar naming scheme of taking a random video game, usually like Call of Duty or I think Battlefield, just because they're funny. And taking a platform that they released on and then making that their name. So on a couple servers I have Call of Duty Modern Warfare for the Xbox 360, I've got Black Ops 2 for the PlayStation 3, I think. I've even got Counter-Strike for the Xbox 360 too because I wanted to shake it up for my Nautilus. Here though, I don't know if I'll do the same thing. I do like my naming scheme, but at the same time I think it's nice to have different names on different servers and different maybe naming schemes. So I don't know. Blubby for my Happy Ghast was what one of you guys suggested. While we let Blubby hydrate, I figure I'll show you guys around the build. Actually, you know what? No, we have this path. Let's walk down this path. I think I placed around 4,000 leaf blocks and like 1,000 or so sweetberry bushes. So it was definitely a lot. It took me about 2 days of just straight building. I did it in layers as well, so it wasn't really too taxing on the mind. But it was definitely just a lot of building. But I gotta say, it's really grown on me. I really do like how this build came out. Like I can't even lie, especially from views like these where you can see all the different layers but like stacked on top of one another. It's just so cool. And my texture packs do a lot of the heavy lifting. If you look at this without the texture packs, it looks kind of dookie. Yeah, it's not as good. It's not as good. It definitely still works, but the extra bushy leaves just kind of sell the effect a lot more and make it look like it's not just, you know, intermittent blocks rather than actual vines. You know, it makes them blend together a lot nicer. So I'll be keeping that on. It's not like I ever play without this resource pack off. Speaking of which, a lot of people have actually been asking me what I use to make my Minecraft look the way that it looks. And I gotta say, really the only mod that I'm using is Distant Horizons. As you can see as well, I added more of the like rocks that I added around my base. And another detail that I'm really happy with is I added these like, I forget the exact term for it. It's like path of most desire, like desire path, I think. Path of most desire. The term for when a path kind of emerges because of how many people are stepping in a certain like way or just following a path of their own design. And even though you're not really meant to... Ooh, gotta sleep. Do I have my bed on me? And I figured that even though these paths aren't meant to really be walked on, it's the fact that you can walk through them that I really enjoy. So I made these to, you know, support that idea, I guess. As well as that, there's also these little, like, leaf bushes that I added around. But it's really just a mix of azalea and oak to kind of give it the highlights. I mean, I didn't need to detail it all too terribly much because, you know, they're just bushes. But even a little bit goes a long way. With this part of the base finished though, I do want to move on to the next thing that I was planning, which, if we fly over here, is this little cove area that I've developed. So, as you can see, I'm using it for sugarcane right now, but that'll get removed later. I want this to be sort of like a dock area or like a fishing area. I'm not entirely sure like what I want it to be used for yet, because I do have very similar plans for the beach over on the other side. But let me hop into my creative world and I can show you what I've been doing with this so far. So welcome to the creative world. There's a couple things over there that I will get to in a later episode, but this is what I am wanting to focus on for the remainder. So I've done a bit of texturing. A lot of this is thanks to World Edit and the brushes. But a lot of it is also then placed in by hand. I have these two boats just for the aesthetic. I really like the bamboo rafts. I feel like I could do something with them, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure yet. And this isn't finished. It's just the terraforming of the land. I do want to add more, like trees or rocks or any other thing that makes it not feel as flat as it is right now, because it just really is the terrain. I used a gradient from moss to packed mud to birch to a mixture of smooth sandstone and normal sand. And then underwater, we have something similar, going from sand and smooth sandstone to birch to oak and then down to packed mud. The reason I used oak here and not over there is just because it gives a little bit of extra depth to the water, whereas here we don't really need it. Obviously, as you saw, this is also pretty shallow on the server, and the reason I haven't terraformed it out here is because I think I'm just gonna, at this point, fade it into the normal terrain, because I don't really want to terraform more than just this. This is already just a big enough area for me to tackle in one episode, not even counting what I've already done over there. The only thing about this is that this requires a lot of smooth sandstone, and I still don't have any sort of super smelter setup or furnace array or whatever you want to call it. So I think the actual next thing that I want to tackle is probably one of those. I do also want to build a moss farm, but I mean, ultimately I can just farm this by hand. It's not the hardest thing to make. So the super smelter is really my first priority. So I'll design and build all of that, and I'll meet back up with you guys when that's all done. Hey guys, I messed up a little bit. As you guys saw in the time lapse, this is the auto smelter setup, or at least it'll change, but I'll get to that in a second. Over here I have the input circuit, so this links up to the input chest that I have. I wanted the front to be pretty clean, which is why I just decided to make it myself rather than using an already made or like a pre-existing farm design, because I wanted, you know, I wanted my clean little input and output chests over here. And I figured rather than adapting another design, I would just kind of look up a bunch of tutorials and mishmatch whatever I wanted. So this hopper minecart takes items in, and this repeater chain makes it so that it takes exactly 16 items thanks to the reliable transfer speed of the hopper. I don't know, I think it is literally only going to ever take 16 items. I don't think it'll take more or less. I guess unless there's less items in the hopper or chest, but that's its own problem. Over here we have a pretty standard, like, just 16 furnaces array. I picked 16 just because I didn't want to go overboard, and also I didn't want to have to fandangle with, like, doing multiple rows and then figuring out the logistics for that. I guess I could actually, looking back on it literally right now, I could just have another line directly next to it. No, I couldn't do that because the hoppers. Never mind. And then over here, so originally I wasn't going to have an auto fuel system, but I figured, I mean, it's the go big or go home episode. I need to, like, I can't half-ass this. I'm gonna make a auto smelter setup through and through, including the auto fuel system. And this is where I messed up a little bit. Not in the sense that I did anything wrong. I mean, I guess I did do something wrong, but I'll get to that. So here we have my kelp farms. I just used a small but efficient design. I forget exactly who made it, but I'll put it up on screen and link them in the description. Over here, I have a incredibly efficient design and incredibly, like, complicated design made by, I think Cube Master was the name? I don't know. Again, I'll put it on screen and in the description. It's really good, it's tileable, you'll see it later in the video as well, but it essentially takes in the kelp, then cooks it in the smoker, then moves it down to the crafter over here, which will eventually craft it into kelp blocks that then cycle back into both the smoker, but then out a little bit into the fuel system. And this is the same circuit, but instead of a repeater clock, because I didn't need it to do any amount of items, it just launches as soon as it gets any items in there. The problem with this lies, I mean, it's just in this. So the thing about this design is that it's almost too efficient. I can't make enough kelp to run this at full tilt, which means that I don't get nearly as much, if any, kelp blocks at all. Because the thing is that you're running into a bottleneck of the efficiency of the dried kelp block. Because they smelt 20 items, but if you can't give it a consistent 20 items, then, you know, you're missing out. So my whole issue is that originally I just had the 1 kelp farm, and then I expanded it to 2, but even with that, it's just not enough. This thing is so efficient that it's just not enough. So luckily, I have a solution. And it's to make an even bigger kelp farm. You kind of can't see it because it's Lightmatica is, you know, telling me that all these blocks are not meant to be there. All the trust me, this thing goes really fast. I actually tested it this time, so I know that it can saturate not just the 1, but 4 of these tileable, you know, smoker segments. So I really just wanted to record. I just wanted to record like my screw up before I fixed it, just because, you know, I don't want to make this seem like I'm perfect. I'm sure that you guys already know that I'm not perfect. Like, I don't hide it at all, but like this type of stuff, you just got to realize what you've done wrong. You can take a step back, which is really what I did. I was doing this like at night and then realized that it wasn't working. And I was like, okay, I need to take a break. I need to lose at a risk of rain run. I need to think about something else other than this auto smelter setup, and then I can come back to it and make it better. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And luckily, I have a really useful thing that'll help make this go a lot faster the second time. So I'll see you then. So, my kelp problems are no longer a problem. This is the new kelp farm that I decided on. Instead, it uses bone meal to grow the kelp at a extremely fast rate. This thing is stupid fast when I have the bone meal to supply it, which I don't right now, or else I'd turn it on. But when it's running at full tilt, even these 4 smoker modules are not enough for it. So I could upgrade it to, I think I have space for like 7, I think, even more if I wanted to just go further down this line. I could just have it go the whole way. Whatever. Right now, this is fine. This is fine. This is good enough for me. I can actually use my super smelter. I still had the minecart over here so we can see that it made almost 4 stacks with all of my bone meal reserves. And Chalubi, who owns the skeleton farm near my base, said that since we have an Enderman farm now, I can just use all the bone meal and bones from that and kind of commandeer the whole thing. I don't know exactly what I'll do with it, if I'll change up the farm design, but I don't know. We'll see. For right now, this is more than enough, so I'm going to let it go. We can watch it actually travel across, and all of these furnaces should now, yep, they are loading up with kelp. And it should do this until the hopper minecart is empty. I don't know the exact math on what that'll eventually put in all the furnaces, but really, I don't care. The point of this is that I don't need to care how much is in the furnaces, because I can always just easily refuel it, which, as long as I have the bone meal to do so, now I can. So now with that, I can conclude that this project is done. I actually have a super smelter, and it works. I don't care if I did all of that for 16 furnaces. I can say that I did it relatively on my own. You know what's not my fault, though? This thing. I want to rant about this for a second. I looked up so many, and you can look up too. You can look up Moss Farm Java 1.21, and you will find many designs that look exactly like this. And guess what? They don't work. They just do not work. How can you advert that they don't work? Because the way that this farm works is that it's trying to, there's supposed to be not that moss block, it's a block above it is meant to be moss, okay? And then it has a lava generator here, which I've since destroyed and used the lava for my iron farm. It's supposed to have stone constantly going in. Not only does that fail most of the time, but when it gets covered up by stone, it can't moss most of the blocks on the top layer. So it doesn't work. It just, the only reason it looks like this is because I tore it up and then bone mealed it. So I really don't know, the only reason it's still here is because I got so mad at it that I didn't even want to look at it anymore, and I focused on the super smelter. I was supposed to do this first. I did this first, actually. I didn't even record it. I was like, oh, it's going to be really quick. But no. Whatever. I'll make more. I'll make a different one later. I'm still mad at this. Regardless of that mossy screw up, we can move on to the probably last thing I'll do in this episode, just because I've done so much. I mean, the vines, the super smelter, the iron farm, which, So actually, let's touch on the iron farm for a sec. The reason I didn't mention that I was going to do this before I did it was because I didn't think that I would do it before I mentioned it. I have been trying for actual months to make a build that goes around this farm. And for whatever reason, I have my design philosophy like perfect over here, but I just cannot make it work here. So I'm gonna think on it a little bit more. I just needed the iron for all the hoppers. Like I probably placed over 100 hoppers. But as I was saying, probably the last thing that I'm gonna do today is gonna be terraforming this cove area over here. I would show you what the Lightmatica view looks like for this, but it's a little bit chaotic because of how many blocks need to get replaced. So I'm just gonna do this. This is the last thing for this episode, at least. I know this one might have seemed like a lot of time lapses. I mean, I actually don't know because I haven't started editing it yet, but just off the top of my head, I would assume it to be. But like I said in my episode 1, this whole series is very experimental for me, very new, so please let me know what you've been thinking. I've had a lot of people say that Fizzmas was their favorite video. Me personally, I like Fizz 3, but I really do want to hear what you guys have to say. So let me know in the comments. I read all of them. With that though, let's get this final time lapse done. And that is that build all finished, or well, not all finished. There's still a lot of stuff. Excuse me. There's still a lot of stuff that I do want to do. I mean, it looks very barren without trees, but I want to add all the trees to my base, just kind of all at once, because I have plans for like a big tree over there, and then obviously sprinkling them around, maybe creating like some form of a forest. I don't have it fully planned out yet, but as of right now, I think this is good enough. And I really like how it came out. Like, it looks even better than in my creative world, just because I think, like, now I see it with everything on the server and all the different, like, landscape that's around it, rather than just being isolated. Let's fly up and have a look. Yeah, it looks like, it's really awesome, and I really like how it looks. Eventually, I will also blend it in to, I mean, maybe blend it, maybe just have, like, a natural-looking cliff, like underwater cliff. I don't know. I don't know yet. This has already obviously been a lot of building in one episode. I don't even know how I'm going to cut it to make it so that it's not just a lot of time lapses one after another, but obviously you guys will have known and will have watched it. So thank you for watching. Like I said earlier, I've been really enjoying making this series, and I really want to ramp up the speed of my upload schedule. Not just on Fizz too. It won't. I don't want to just become a Minecraft YouTube channel as much as I do love making Minecraft videos now. So you'll see more of this, but you will also see more of other videos. I've got a couple already cooking, and hopefully I can actually deliver on them this year. So thank you all so much for watching again, and I'll see you next time.